Okay folks, so in this video we are going to look at critical errors when we turn left at traffic lights. The first critical error is wrong lane. So if I'm turning left, I always have to stay closer to the center of the street. So in this example, if you notice, so here I'm going to change lane because this lane I don't see any sign indicating that I can go left from this lane. So that means this lane is only to go straight. So if I'm turning left, I have to go in the left turning lane, and if I don't do that, that's gonna be an automatic fail in the driving test. So here we have another example. Now we are turning left, so that means we should be staying closer to the yellow line, something similar to this. Now let's say for whatever reason, if you're too far from the yellow line, if you're stopping like this, now this one it will be automatic fail because you're too far from the lines, more than 3 feet. You're leaving a lot of space on the left side and somebody gonna come there, maybe a cyclist, motorcycle, or sometimes even, you never know, maybe there's another car trying to squeeze in. Then it becomes critical error because now you can't go left anymore. So let's look at some real life examples. So right now we are just on a basic intersection. We are approaching to this intersection here. There is a yellow line in the middle, so I'm staying closer to the yellow line, and after that, if the light is red, then we just stop before the stop line. So here we have another example. We are approaching to the intersection for the left turns. This time we have a divider in the middle, so we are staying closer to the divider. We got 2 lanes on this side here, right? So we are staying in the left lane, closer to the divider on the left side. Here we have another example. Now this one, we are on a one-way street. We are going to turn left and we are staying in the first in the left lane here, and this black sign indicates from this lane we can only go left. Okay, if I try to turn left from the second lane here, that's gonna be an automatic fail in the driving test. The next intersection is, let's say there's already one car established in the intersection from your side, and if you follow him, if you establish behind him, that's gonna be a critical error. So there should be only one car established in the intersection at a time from your side. So for example, we are looking at this intersection here. Now the silver car has a left signal on and the light is green, so and there is a sign for the stop line. Now here's one mistake I want to point out, guys. See how far this car is from the yellow line, right? So he's too close to the white line and he's too far from the yellow line. So that's wrong. So back to the second critical error. So I have to see what this guy is doing. If he stops in the middle of the intersection, that means I have to stay behind the stop line. If I follow him, if I go in the intersection as well, that's gonna be a critical error. So here he's going in the intersection and there was another truck, so he's moving, and looks like there's still oncoming traffic, so there's white car coming, so I know he's gonna pretty much stop in the intersection. So I slow down, I'm waiting behind the stop sign here. Now after this white car, it doesn't look like we have any oncoming traffic coming from that side. So now he's moving and now he's gone, light is still green, so that's when I pull in the intersection. Okay, and intersection is still empty, so I just clear the intersection that time. So now let's look at another example, because a lot of people fail on this, so that's why I want to make sure it's very clear to you. So here right now this van is turning left. We are just waiting for the green light. The light is red, and now as soon as the light turns green, I have to see what he's doing. If he stops in the middle, then I stay behind the stop line, but if he doesn't stop in the middle, then I can follow him. Now the light is already green, so look at the traffic on this side. Looks like the traffic is still quite far and there's no pedestrian crossing, so that means he's not going to stop in the middle. So he's going, and that means I can follow him as well, because I already know that he's not gonna stop in the middle of the intersection. Alright folks, I'm just gonna show you one more example of the same critical error. The reason is because I really want you to pass your driving test, okay? That's why I'm showing different situations. Driving is all about encountering different situations, different intersection, and when you understand all the different situations, and then everything is very clear in your mind, and when you go for your driving test, or even like your day-to-day driving, when everything is clear in your mind, you will make good decisions and you will stay safe on the road, and you will pass your driving test very easily as well. So here, as I'm approaching to the intersection, I already see this red car in the middle of the intersection. Light is still green, he has a left signal on, so he's turning left. So that means I have to stay behind the stop line. If I go in the intersection, if I follow him, that's gonna be an automatic fail. Now he's going, now if the light is still green, then I can start to follow him, because he's already pretty much on the other side and I don't see any traffic coming. So that means I'm good to go. Now some intersections will have a traffic light with 4 circles in it. Just what we see, same thing what we see on this intersection here. If you see 4 circles, that means there's gonna be a turning signal. So the bottom circle is for the turning signal. So right now I'm getting a green arrow, and if I see a green arrow, that means I'm getting the priority. I have to I just go. But now at some point this arrow gonna change. Okay, so here's the tricky part. Now as you are approaching towards the intersection, you just have to see if the arrow stays green like this, that means there should be no hesitation, you should just go through. And when you have a green arrow, pedestrians should not be crossing. See this lady here, because right now we have the priority, we are getting a green arrow, so that's why she is still waiting on the side. Now at some point, as I said, the arrow gonna change. So let's look at that example again. Now let's say as I'm approaching towards the intersection, right now I'm still behind the stop line. If I see the arrow changes from green to amber at this point, that means I have to establish if I have a oncoming traffic on this side or pedestrian who want to cross. Okay. Now the other situation will be, I see now I see an amber arrow here. So now I'm already in the middle of the intersection. When I see amber arrow with a green light, now this time I can just go through, because I'm already in the middle and I'm doing about 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers my speed. Then that means I don't want to slam on the brakes. Okay, so if you see amber arrow and you're still behind the stop line like this, amber arrow with a green light, that means you establish. But if you see amber arrow when you're already in the middle of the intersection, that means you just go through. Very important to understand, because a lot of people, they actually fail on this. A lot of people, when they see amber arrow and they are still behind the stop line, they don't stop, they will just keep going. Okay, and then they get automatic fail. And sometimes I see people when they see amber arrow, they are already in the middle of the intersection, they get panicked, they slam on the brakes, and they interfere with the traffic behind them, and then it also becomes automatic fail. So these are all different situations. Okay, right now we are not even talking about the establishing part. Okay, so we will look at how to establish properly, what are the critical errors when you establish. Okay, so right now we are just looking at pretty much as you are driving towards the intersection, what could be the different situations and what decisions you need to make based on the situation. So now let's look at the critical errors in the establishing part. So first I'm just going to show you guys how to establish properly, and then we will look at the critical errors. What are the common critical errors when people establish in the driving test. Okay, so at any point if you're turning left, you always have to stay on the left side of the intersection. If you go on the right side of the intersection, that's gonna be an automatic fail. So a lot of people, they like to draw a line this way. So that means you want to stay on this side of the intersection. This is your side, and at the same time you can draw a box here. So when you establish, at least half of your car should be inside the box. Okay, now this plus sign here represents the middle of the intersection. Now when you establish, you want to stop before the middle of the intersection. So you should stop something like this. The reason for that is this way, like, you're staying on your side, on the left side, and if there's another car who want to turn left, they will do exactly same thing. They will stay on their side, and if you get the opportunity to go first, you can go first. Or if this car gets the opportunity to go first, and then this car can go first, or you both can go at the same time without interfering with each other. So that is the proper way to establish for your left turns. Now let me show you what are the common critical errors when people establish, because a lot of time they think they have established properly, but in reality they did not. The first critical error is not going too far in the intersection. So let's say your stop line is over here. So this is your stop line. Sometimes students, they just stop over here. They only go a little bit in the intersection like this, and they sit here. Okay, you have to claim in the intersection. If the light is green, you are the first car, you have to go a little bit more in the intersection to claim the intersection. If you're just sitting here, it doesn't, like, you're not even in the intersection here, right? So you're as you can see, you're still pretty much behind the intersection. So that's a critical error. The second critical error is they go too far in the intersection. So instead of stopping before the middle of the intersection, they would actually stop something like this. Okay, now the problem with this method is you're not leaving any room for this traffic to go left. Okay, if somebody from this side, they want to go left, they got no space. All right, because you're pretty much on their side, so you're blocking all the lane, and that's why it becomes a critical error. The other reason, if you go too far in the intersection, the other mistake is, let's say you stop something like this. Now you're leaving a lot of space behind you, and in real life we know there are a lot of impatient drivers who don't follow the rules, so somebody else gonna pull in. Okay, now you got like two cars in the intersection, and now when the road is clear, you are trying to go in the left lane, and at the same time this guy is trying to go in the left lane as well. Then it's not safe anymore. Okay, so that's gonna be automatic fail, and you're not leaving any space for this traffic either, right? So you're blocking this traffic, so it's not safe at all. The other wrong way to establish is now if you have a okay, let me step back for a second. If you have a yellow line in the middle of the street, okay, yellow line, when you establish, you keep your car straight. Okay, you want to stay on your side, you want to stay closer to the yellow line, but you're gonna keep your car straight like this. Okay, now if you angle your car, so let's say instead of keeping your car straight, if you go sideways like this, now what's happening is you're actually in the wrong lane, you're blocking this oncoming traffic now. Okay, the front end of your car is already on their side, so that's gonna become automatic fail as well. Okay, so let's look at this situation now. Now on this intersection we're gonna have a turning signal. So right now the light is red, so we are just waiting for the light to turn green. And as I am approaching towards the intersection, because I was the fourth car actually, so first car is here, second car, third car, I'm the fourth car, so that means I have to be careful. By the time I get to the intersection, maybe the arrow gonna change from green to amber, maybe it will stay green, we just have to see. So far I'm right, see the front bumper of my car is right where the stop line is, and looks like the arrow is still green, so that means I'm good to go. We are already in the middle of the intersection now, the arrow is still green, and that means we can just go through the intersection. So here we have another example. We are turning left again. Now this street doesn't have any yellow line in the middle, so that means we're just gonna imagine a yellow line in the middle of the street and we are staying closer to the yellow line. This red car is also turning left, so I have to see what he's doing. As you can see, I'm stopping here before the stop line, letting him go first. He's already moving, the light is still green, I don't have oncoming traffic, there's no pedestrian crossing, so that means I'm good to go. Now this example is it's perfect example to show for the busy intersections. So this time we are going to turn left at the lights, and looks like there's already actually two cars in the intersection. As you can see, the light is already red. Okay, so both cars, they were established in the intersection, so the second car here was wrong, and they both are going on a red light now. Okay, because they were both established in the middle of the intersection, and this intersection is busy all the time. There's a lot of pedestrian traffic, lot of cars. So right now we are just waiting for the light to turn green, and when you're waiting for the light to turn green, you can already start planning everything, look at all the signs, observe, see how much traffic you have. Now I see a one-way street sign here. See this black sign here, black sign on this side, that indicates we are turning from a two-way street onto a one-way street. Now what's that mean? That means when I'm turning, I need to take my very first lane here. Okay, first available lane, the closest lane on the left side. Now that means when I go in the intersection, I'm just gonna go a little bit in the intersection, not too far. If I go too far in the intersection, that means it's gonna force me to take the second lane. And let me show you that in a sketch as well, so you can understand what I'm saying here. Alright, so the intersection that we are looking at right now, it looks something like this. Okay, so we are on a two-way street. Alright, so this one is a two-way street, and this street here is a one-way street going to the left side. So that means when I establish, now the middle of the intersection is here, but I don't want to go in the middle because otherwise it's gonna force me to go in the second lane. So if I establish here, it's gonna force me to go in the second lane or in the third lane, and that's gonna be automatic fail. So what I need to do is, when I see a one-way street sign, I just need to go a little bit in the intersection. Okay, just not too far, just a little bit in the intersection, so I can take my first lane here. Okay, because I need to go into this lane first, unless I see a parked car here. So let's say if there is a parked car over here, right, so something like this, then I can go in the second lane. But if the first lane is clear, then I always have to go in the first lane first. So that's what we are looking at on this intersection here. So far there's still a lot of traffic coming, the light is still green. Now if you notice, this car is not moving because he doesn't have room on the other side, so he doesn't want to block the intersection. That's why he stopped over there. And now this truck is moving, So there's still a lot of traffic, and when you're watching traffic at the same time you want to look at your traffic light, because sometimes your light gonna change first. So like right now, if you notice, the light is already amber, but I still got this white car in the middle of the intersection, this bus is in the middle of the intersection, so that means I still have to wait for them. And now I start moving, the light is already red, and now I'm start moving, and the bus is still in the middle of the intersection, so I still have to wait for the bus. So here I'm going on pretty much on a red light. As you can see, the other traffic already have a green light here, and I'm going in the first available lane. So sometimes you have to do that, and that's why they only want one car in the intersection from your side. Because you don't know when you're gonna clear the intersection. Maybe you're going on a green light, maybe you're going on a amber light, or maybe you're going on a red light. It all depends on how much how busy the intersection is, how much traffic you have. So here we are going to turn left again. Now this one is pretty easy because there was no oncoming traffic and there was no pedestrian crossing. So here let's look at another example. So we are turning left again, and so far the light is green, so now I'm going in the intersection. So this silver car went because that time the intersection was empty, but now when I pull in the intersection I have this oncoming traffic, so I have to wait for them, and I'm stopping before this divider here, as you can see. Now as I said, like sometimes your light gonna change first when you're in the intersection. When you see amber light, that time you look at the traffic. If they're slowing down, you can go, but if they don't slow down, then you wait for the red light, and when your light is red, that's when you have to go. And at that time your examiner will only wait for you like 1 second. If he notice you're not doing anything, he gonna ask you to go, and that will be a critical error in the test. Okay, so if you're hesitating, that's a critical error. If you're rushing yourself, that's a critical error. For example, like let's say now if I don't wait for this car, if I try to go before this car hoping I can make it, that's gonna be automatic fail. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So we are just waiting. Now there's another car, and now look at the light. Now the light went ambers, and this guy is still in the intersection. Okay, so I have to let him go, and at the same time I have to see what this red car is doing. Is he going to stop? Is he slowing down? If I notice he's slowing down, that means he will stop and I can clear the intersection. But if he doesn't slow down, that means I still have to wait for him. And this silver car on this side here is turning left, so I don't like, he's not going to interfere with me, so I don't need to worry too much about him. See the red car, look at the red car. Okay, did not stop. Okay, did not slow down at all. Very important point, guys. Okay, this is your observation, so let's watch that again. Okay, light went amber. Okay, now this guy is pretty much already in the intersection, so we know he's not going to stop. Okay, because he's already past the stop line. But look at the red car here. Okay, no, did not even slow down. Okay, see, now my light is already red, and when I see that red light, I have to go right way. Okay, I gotta leave the intersection right way, because now the other traffic gonna get a green light, so this light gonna change to green pretty soon. And if I don't go, then the cross traffic here, they won't be able to go, and then I will get automatic fail there because I'm interfering with the traffic. Alright, so here as you can see, I'm leaving right way. Alright, so we're gonna look at one more example here. So right now the light is red, so now the light is green. I'm the first car, that means I have to establish myself. And now when I'm in the middle of the intersection, I'm observing traffic light, pedestrians on the sidewalk there. And if I see a big opening between the traffic, so see, after this car, the next car is too far, so that means I need to leave, I need to clear the intersection that time. If I don't do that, that's gonna become hesitation, and if I'm hesitating, too much hesitation is automatic fail. Alright, so the next critical error on the left turn is if you fail to yield to pedestrians. So right now, let's say fail to yield to pedestrians or oncoming traffic. So I got this oncoming traffic here. Now pedestrian on this side already crossed, but like let's say if I don't wait for the pedestrian, or if I don't wait for the oncoming traffic, that's gonna be automatic fail. The next critical error is your speed. So you're going too fast for the conditions. So if you're going too fast, that means you might lose control over the car, and if you're going too slow, that means you're gonna create interference with the traffic, and then that becomes automatic fail. So now let's look at this example again. So this is a very good example here. See how I establish in the middle of the intersection. I'm observing traffic. Now I see amber light, but look at the cars here. They are like super far from the stop line. So that means they will stop, okay? And that means they will stop and I can start moving. And if I don't do that, that's gonna become hesitation, and hesitation is automatic fail. The next critical error is going in the wrong lanes. So after your turns, you always go in your first lane first. So for example here, if I show you this one more time here, after my left turn, I'm going in the left lane. If I go in the right lane here, that's gonna be a critical error, okay? So you always go in the lane that's on the right side of the yellow line or the divider, and and after that you can change lane if you have to. The next critical error is you're trying to go when it's not your right of way. So what I mean by that is, let's say you establish in the intersection, and now you see one car is turning right, okay? So this car has a right signal on, and then you start moving at the same time, okay? Now technically this car has the right of way, and we don't know, even if you have two lanes here, we don't know which lane he's gonna go into. Now by the rules, yes, he's supposed to be turning in the right lane first, but we know in real life people don't quite follow the rules, and a lot of time they go in the far lane. So maybe he's turning into this lane here, and if you are going into this lane as well, that means you're interfering with that car. That's gonna be a critical error. So if you are turning left and somebody else is turning right and they don't have a yield sign, that means they get the right of way. Now the next critical error is you are turning left and someone else is turning right, but they do have a yield sign. So let's draw that. So let's say there is a yield sign on this side, so we have a yield here, something like this, middle of the intersection here. Okay, so you are turning left, so you establish. Now there's one car coming from this side, and this car has a right signal on and they have a yield sign, so that means they are going this way, and that means now you get the right of way because they have a yield sign, so they have to wait for you. And if you let them go first, okay, so if you hesitate, then it's gonna become a critical error. So definitely a lot of information in this video, so definitely you need to watch this video at least 3-4 times to absorb all the information. A lot of critical errors and different situations that I was pointing out in this video, and there will be a lot more videos. I will keep uploading more videos as I go through different situations. So yeah, just keep watching, and I will see you guys again.